This is Coach Parry Auto-Suggest. I'm Brad from CoachParry.com, and today we're answering some of the most common questions that runners ask on the internet. And today it's, does running help with weight loss?
This is such a great question, and I love it and hate it at the same time because I love running. I love the process of training. I love running races. And I think that is the key thing, is that you have to fall in love with the process in order to attain a goal. So does running help with weight loss? We have to think of weight loss as more as a calories in versus a calories out. And so if you have calories coming in and you've got those are outweighing your calories going out, you're not going to lose weight. And so if we increase our calories going out, so essentially the activity that you're doing, that will equal a net weight loss, and that's what we're looking for. Whether that is running or walking or strength training, it could be any of those things. So it doesn't have to be running. I speak to so many people who want to start running just to lose weight. And if that is the thing that gets you going, that gets you started, that is great. But just try and find a bit of a love for the process as opposed to just the means to an end. And really just always remember that it's really about getting a calories in versus a calorie out balance. That's the key to weight loss, not running on its own that is going to work.
Thank you very much for that, Shona. Next up is, does running build muscle? Over to you, Lindsay.
Does running on its own build muscle? The answer to that simply is yes and no. If you are someone who's particularly inactive, you haven't been doing a lot of exercise, then in the initial stages, doing any form of exercise is going to improve your musculoskeletal function, and it's going to build some muscle. However, when we start to train for longer distance races, half marathons, marathons and beyond, then through the training process, there will be some muscle loss if we only run. There are some exceptions, of course, depending on the type of running we do. If, for example, you are training for trail races, training for ultra trail races, the nature of that sport where there's loads of climbing, which involves walking and walking up big steps and charging down mountains, means that trail runners tend to be a little bit more muscular than road runners running halves, etc. If you truly want to build muscle, then you need to add strength training into your routine, because the further we run, the more reliant your body becomes on burning both fat, carbohydrates, and some muscle to sustain that long-term exercise. The good news is we put together a free strength training program for you to do at home. Click on the link now to download it.
So next up, let's take a look at, does running make you taller? What a wonderful question. I'm 6'6", and Tutu on our team is probably the person who runs the most. He's a lot shorter than I am. And Tutu, is that true?
It would be great if running made you taller, but unfortunately it doesn't. So your height is mostly dependent on genetics. Studies have shown that it's about 80% genetics and about 20% environmental factors. So that's things like nutrition and lifestyle. So what happens is that when you are younger, you have growth plates that are at the end of the long bones in your arms and your legs, and also in your hands and your feet. These, the growth plates are areas of soft cartilage that allow for more bone mass to be added. As you get older, these growth plates will harden eventually until they eventually close. Once the growth plates are closed, all growing ceases. The growth plates close late into puberty at about age 15 for girls and age 17 for boys. Though some people can obviously keep growing until later, but once those growth plates are closed, growth ceases. So of course this means that running, no matter how hard you try, will never ever make you taller. One thing it does do though is that as you run, because you're engaged in the muscles of your core and your glutes in that area, it can improve your posture. So it might seem like you gain more centimeters even if you actually aren't growing anymore at that stage.
Okay, so now we know that it doesn't really make you taller. Let's take a look at the next question, which is, does running increase testosterone?
Here we have another classic yes and no. The reality is that long distance running does show slight decreases in testosterone, while high intensity workouts or sprint work shows an increase in testosterone. So to get a good balance, as with most things in life, we want to do some long distance running to really look out for the health benefits, to stay fit and to be able to keep doing what we love doing for long periods of time, but we need to mix in some higher intensity sprint type of work so that you can boost your testosterone levels.
Now that we know if running increases testosterone, let's take a look at does running help flu?
Well, there is a little bit of evidence out there, not necessarily much scientific evidence, but there is some evidence to say that running can help with symptoms of a cold. When we talk about cold-like symptoms, we are referring to head cold, so something in the neck and above, snotty noses, a little bit of a scratchy throat perhaps. Running does release adrenaline or epinephrine into the body, which actually is a bit of a decongestant. So you might often feel that by going for a light run, you are feeling a little bit better and getting rid of those cold-like symptoms. However, it is advised that if you are going to be running, make sure it is light, really easy intensity, doesn't have to be long run either, nice and short. When we start talking more severe flu-like symptoms, however, so anything below the throat, so in the chest where you've got tight chest, severe coughing, pretty heavy fever-like symptoms as well, it is actually advised not to run and rather rest. Your body will improve and recover better from resting, which then means hopefully those symptoms are only lasting a couple of days instead of prolonging that, where it could be something where you're out for 2 weeks properly sick and actually losing a lot more in your training. So the idea with more severe cold or flu-like symptoms, rather rest and let your body recover properly.
Now that you know everything there is to know about running with flu, recovery plays a massive part, not just getting better from illness, but also improving your running. Watch this video next to find out everything you need to know about recovery.